Guys, welcome to an edition of Market Marauders, beating the market one trade at a time. For you new Market Marauders, it's an investment channel, helps you to find the best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below, like, comment, and share. Now, today I'll be giving you my weekly watch list for options trading. If you're new to options trading, this video is going to be an overview of Webull platform as well as the Robinhood platform side by side. So if you want to sign up for either one of those platforms, I have a link down below in the description, so check it out. So with further ado, let's jump into it. For the first one, I got ticker sign NKE for Nike. On my metrics, I like to give the moving average 10, 50, and 100. So just bear that in mind. If you're on Webull, and you're new to Webull, then make sure that your groups are all set the same. It's going to make a seamless transition between all of your metrics. So just bear that in mind. Also, on Webull, when you first get it, you're not going to have the three different metrics right here, but you'll probably have two. Just click the setting icon right here. You can go in and change those and change the color of the line. So just bear that in mind. If you're new to Webull, that's basically all that I've done to change this graph. So with that being said, moving average 10 is 96.79, moving average 50 is 97.13, moving average 100 is 97.89. They ended the week at 95.78, so they're below all three of those metrics, moving average 10, 50, and 100. So if we zoom in, we can see they kind of been on a bearish trend for quite a while. These charts may be a little bit dramatic, but I'm on the 5-minute interval, so if you look at the 1 hour interval, it may be different in comparison, so just bear that in mind. I like to use a 5-minute interval just for me, personal preference. So if we go on here, we can see that it's gone down. It's gone down quite a bit throughout the rest of that day, trading day on Friday. So, um, I think, in my personal opinion, that it's going to continue to go down because it hasn't been able to break through. Um, this it kind of went up, and it had a chance to have a breakout. But then once it crossed this threshold, it kind of all the lines converged, the moving average 50, 100, and 10. And then once the moving average 10, crossed down below both those metrics, it was kind of like, on a bearish pattern that whole time. So on the channel, I like to give some background information. I don't like to just read charts. So let's jump into some background information on Nike. So this is just their press releases. This is just Nike news in general. They have it separated by company, community, and things of that nature. So I'm just going to read some of the stuff from their website. It says Nike incorporated statement on commitment to the black community. The Nike Jordan Converse brand will collectively make a $40 million commitment over the next 4 years to support the black community in the U.S. That's also the same article here. Converse statement on commitment to black community. Converse, along with Nike and Jordan brands, will collectively make $40 million. So it's kind of like a duplicate of that one. Nike N7 collection features design inspired by integrational healing. So they're going to release this collection on the 21st. So on tomorrow, basically, it's going to be released SN KRS and selected retailers in North America. So look forward to that. They also have a section for Roni updates. So basically, their impact on, how they're helping that situation. Nike joins with athletes to thank frontline healthcare workers. Nike inside Nike's race to help protect healthcare workers, and then all the ways Nike is helping athletes play inside. So, there's some other stuff on here. They designed the Los Angeles Rams uniforms, so that's pretty cool. Looks really nice, in my opinion. The Portland Thorns FC fans. Looks like they got a new kit that they got coming out, so that looks nice as well. But a lot of things they're doing development-wise, for the company. A lot of different updates company-wide. But regardless of all the stuff that's going on, I still feel like financially, they still have some hurdles to overcome. There are a lot of things going on with the company. I don't think sales have been that good because people haven't really been shopping, in my opinion. I don't think people have been going out and shopping, even with the stimulus that's gone out there. Expensive clothing, or I mean, expensive to some, not expensive to other. It's all relative, but you know, name brand clothing, I don't think is at the top of the list of most people's, uh, you know, wish list or necessity list at this point in time, with all things that are going on. So I think that actually hit the Nike market pretty hard, and I think a put would probably be the best option in my opinion. Now this is the Robinhood platform. I'm going to explain the Robinhood platform, then I'm going to go back to the Webull platform, and then I'm going to do that vice versa. So just bear in mind, I'm gonna start off with the Robinhood platform, then go back to the Webull platform, then come back to Robinhood, and come back to Webull. So that's just giving my basis for analysis. So um, this is actually options trading on Robinhood. If you don't have Robinhood, you could always sign up for it in the link down below. But then also, when you sign up for that through that link, you're not going to have access to Robinhood. The same thing. I mean, to options. The same with Webull. Webull doesn't automatically give you access to options when you download those apps. So just bear that in mind. You actually have to fill out a form on both platforms in order to get access to options. They'll ask you some questions about, how much you make and all other different criteria. But then, they'll approve your account, and then you'll get access to options. So if you download the apps like today, you won't be able to just automatically start trading options. You actually have to get approved through the app in order to have access to options. So just bear that in mind. Um, some people get the app and they're like, I don't see options on here. How are people able to trade options? There's actually a form that you have to fill out on both platforms in order to get that access. With that being said, if you're new to options in general, for me personally, I only buy calls and buy puts. I don't sell calls or sell puts. So just bear that in mind. My analysis is going to be from the standpoint of buying calls and buying puts. So for me, I think buying a put is going to be the best position. Seeing that Nike has some financial hurdles, in my opinion, that they still need to overcome. On the left-hand side, you have the strike price. So this is the price you believe that it's going to get to. A call means you believe that the market is bullish, which means you believe the stock price is going to go up. A put means that you believe the stock price is bearish, means you believe that it's going to go down. Now, one thing I don't like about Robinhood is that depending on how the stock is doing. So if the stock is going down, then the puts are going to be highlighted in green, and the calls are going to be highlighted in orange, this orange color, which we'll see later on with another stock that I'm choosing. So it's a little confusing on here because puts technically are bearish, and bearish patterns are usually considered red, and calls are usually considered green because the market is bullish. But Robinhood flip flops their colors quite often depending on how the chart's performing. So don't be confused by that if you're going on here, because it's not always the same per stock. All buying puts are not always green, and all buying calls are not always red or orange, and all buying uh, puts are not always orange. So bear that in mind when you go on there. It could be a little confusing. Webull's a little bit better in not changing the color on that and having a standard template for that, but Robinhood has their own way of doing things because both the platforms are different. So that being said, expiration price, I usually try to go a month out, past whatever the date is. So today's the 20th, so the 20th of June. So, go out a month past that, July 31st. Is a month a good time frame in order to execute, or, have what I believe the market will do to go out. So, I try to do at least a month, if not a little more. But, different people can do different things. You can go and buy one for next week. It's all up to you based on your style of trading. So that's just a personal preference. These prices right here on the right hand side is the price that you're going to pay. And bear in mind that contract is an agreement to buy 100 shares of a stock at a specific price. So the price that you pay for this one is going to be $460. It's not $4.66 per contract. So you will essentially pay $460 per contract. and not $4.60 per contract. So with that being said, some of the background information out of the way, I think a put between $93 to $95. It's going to be a good range. For a put on Nike, I realistically see it going down to those levels just because of the chart from the beginning, how far it's gone down already. So you'll be looking to pay between $370 and $460 on the Robinhood platform at this specific time. Now, bear in mind when the market opens on Monday, these prices are going to change. So this is just a rough range or rough estimate of what you'll be willing to pay. So, you know, it may not be exactly 370 because the market may open and the share price right here may actually open up at $93. So this technically wouldn't be out of the money, it would be in the money. So in the money basically means that for a put, if it's gone to this number, then that means it's in the money. So that means that in the money options basically means that your share price has been met. So if you believe that it's going to go up to a certain price, in the money would be it's gone above that price that you chose. In the money for a put is the opposite, which means that the share price that you believe that it's going to go to, it has gone down and below that. So just bear that in mind. It could be a little bit confusing, but once you get the hang of it, it'll be a little easier. Jumping into the Webull platform, going into my options tab, we have Nike, NKE, and then we said a date of July 31st. So the way that Webull actually has theirs is they have all the information out here all at one time, so there's no guesswork, there's no clicking on different tabs. So the bid section right here on the right hand side is basically going to be your buying. So this is buying a call, this section is buying a put, and this section is going to be selling a call, and the ask on this side is going to be buying a put. Now the numbers, strike prices will be relatively the same because it's just the interval in which you'll have it, but the price that you pay will be different based on how you're actually, well, basically different based on the platform. So going into that, we have a put between $93 to $95. So we can find $93. You'd be looking to pay $305 for that put. Bear in mind the bid side on this section is the put, and then you're going to be looking for 93 to 95. So 95 is down here. So $435 per contract. So between $305 to $430. So not too bad. Just a slight difference between the two. Let's go back to Nike. So yeah, 460 to 358. Nope, to 370. And then on Webull you have 435 to 305. So a slight difference between the two. So just bear that in mind. Both these platforms are different, and that's basically how it goes. They're different platforms, so you can't assume that one's going to be the same price as the other when going to try to pick the different one. Now usually people pick one and they'll stick with that one platform. I like to go through and look at both of them, but that's just a personal preference of mine. Now jumping to the next one, we got ticker sign RAD, and this is for Rite Aid, and they're going to the chart. Moving average 10 is 1240. Moving average 50 is 1244. Moving average 100 is 1254. And they ended the week at 1241. So if we look on here, we can see, they're below their moving average 50 and their moving average 100. At their moving average 10, they're just barely above their moving average 10 by 1 cent. So that's basically where it ended. It was 1 cent above the moving average 10, which doesn't necessarily mean, in my opinion, that there's going to be a breakout, but it could be the initiation of a breakout. So, you can take that Either way, volume seemed to be really high. Also, bear in mind it's a 5-minute chart, but volume seemed to be relatively high towards the end of the day, and high in towards the green, which is the bullish side. So, volume was kind of high in the bearish side, but if you look at the bullish side, it was a lot higher than the bullish side towards the end of the day. Now, jumping into some background information on them, we can see that they are beginning to open a lot more test centers. So, they have roadie test centers, throughout the country. And, they're kind of, gung ho about actually opening more centers. And I'm just going to read the article for you. It says, and further, in the road testing capabilities with 5 additional drive-through locations opening Monday the 22nd. So if you live in these places, you can go get tested. So, that's a positive on that end. Through the partnership with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, like Rite Aid's existing testing sites, the new locations will utilize self-swab, nasal test overseen by Rite Aid pharmacists. So it's actually, Rite Aid's workers who are working these places. And it says Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and Saturdays and Sundays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, it actually has the place right here, has the address. So I think these are 3 in New Jersey, 1 in Ohio, and the other one is in Michigan. So, you know, more test centers opening up. Jumping to another article from them. They actually have their earnings coming up. So next week they're going to have their earnings result. If you're new to actually doing due diligence on a company, reading press releases and things of that nature, you could actually go on here. You can Google Rite Aid press releases, what I did, and then you can get access to these different press releases that I'm looking at. This is not closed off information. This is all information available to the public. So I don't have a special pass to go in here to get this information. And if you don't believe that, I'm not even logged into this website. So you know anybody can go and get this information. It's public information, but on the website you can go click onto this to get the presentation, and it tells you the actual time that they're going to have it. So the company will hold an analysis call at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time with the Rite Aid's management team. And it says the telephone replay will be available at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, June 25th. So, you got kind of 2 times to actually listen to it. You can call in. Here's the number on here. I don't know if that's going to be the international number, but that's one of the numbers on there. Also, you can click on here and get the presentation yourself. But, a lot of good information is given from these different calls. Definitely, financial information so we can see the impact of all these testing centers, and if it's, more people are wanting to go to Rite Aid because of these testing centers, or, if it's actually being beneficial to the company as a whole. I personally think it is, but that's just my opinion. I'm a retail trader. I'm not telling you whether you should buy it or you shouldn't buy it. I'm just saying, from my opinion, just outsider looking in, that I think it's a good call, and I think more people are going to be prone to go to a Rite Aid since they're getting their testing from Rite Aid. With that being said, jumping into the uh, Robinhood platform, I think a call would probably be the best option. Now, call, remember, I believe that the position is bullish. I believe the stock's going to go up. So between $12.50 to $14, I think is a good price barrier for entry. July 31st, I think is a good time period, and when that can actually happen, especially since the earnings is going to be next week. So if you go from 12.50 to 14, you're gonna be looking to pay $117 to $112 on the Robinhood platform. So jumping into Webull, we're gonna look it up on Webull, and we got ticker sign RAD, and then we have a July 31st date. So going to 12 from 12.50 to 14, we have 12.50 here to 14. here, and we're going to be on this side. So remember, buying, both the bids represent buying, and on this side for bid, we have buy a call. Which is the position that I wanted to do. Buy a call between 12.50 to 14. You're gonna be looking to pay between $140 to $75. So that's gonna be a range of prices between the $14 and the $12.50 strike price. So not too bad. Not too expensive. One thing you'll see is the cheaper the stock actually is, the cheaper the options usually going to be are usually going to be. So just bear that in mind, moving forward with if you're starting to do options, usually the cheaper the option, the actual price of the stock is, usually the cheaper the options are. So bear that in mind, when you're going to big companies like, like a Microsoft or a Tesla or something like that, you're gonna get some crazy high, values as far as, trying to buy options when that is concerned. So jumping into my next one, we got ticker sign APL for Apple. Actually had this on last week. But I think it's good to repeat it because there's some big major moves being made in the company, in my personal opinion. Now, if we look at the stock, they kind of crossed their barrier for moving average 100 and moving average 50, but they're kind of starting to try to bounce back. It actually crossed the threshold of its moving average 50, which to me signifies the beginning of a breakout. If Monday morning it opens up and it crosses that threshold of that threshold of 350.77, which is moving average 100, then I definitely believe that it's going to be on an actual breakout. So its moving average 10 is 348.62, moving average 50 is 348.73, and moving average 100 is 350.77. So jumping into some background information and why I think it's a good option to be involved in is basically on Monday, the 22nd, they're going to be full streaming the WWDC 2020. So uh, actually on that Monday, they're gonna have keynote speakers. It's gonna be the platform State of the Union, which basically is like they're gonna be talking about new devices. I think they have new headphones that are coming out, different things like that. Updates for developers because it's basically a developer conference. This stuff is all free to the public. You can all go and sign up and look at these different web workshops that they have going on. It's the 23rd through the 22nd through the 26. So, if you're a developer out there, you want to go look and learn some more stuff about Apple, or if you're an investor, you want to learn some of the background things that Apple is doing and updates, stay tuned and watch this as it goes on. Um, you know, be a lot of good updates and a lot of things going on. But my opinion, that's to me what's going to make the stock actually shoot up. Apple is one of those top companies in the S&P 500. A lot of people rally around it. It's a large position in a lot of wealthy people's portfolio. So I'm not saying they're immune to do no wrong, but I'm saying if people who are more financially literate than I am think that it's a good stock to hold on to, then I think it's going to be on a good path to go up even more. So with that being said, I think a call is the best option. The expiration date of the 31st. Between $380 to $400, you're gonna be looking to pay between $500 per actual contract to $290. So between, let's say, $209 to $500 on the Robinhood platform per actual contract. So that's with the $400 strike price to a $380 strike price. Now going into the actual Webull option side of it, we're going to type in ticker sign AAPL, and that is for Apple. And we have a strike price. We have an expiration of the 31st. let's see so we can get this to load. So the 31st. All right, so we have 380 to 400. So we're gonna scroll down and find 380. So remember, we're doing a buy, which is this side buy call, between 380 to 400. We have a $455 buy price, is the price you pay, to 380 to 400. To $207. So I'll be looking to pay between $455 on the Webull platform to $207 on the Webull platform. So that's just the difference between the two, with the July strike price. And I think WWDC 2020 is going to be very interesting. I'm interested to see all the updates and stuff that are going on. And what movements technology is basically making. Now, the whole Roni situation may impact some of those, in my opinion, but I think, as a company, they're probably going to try to get out as many updates as they can about the progress of the company during this one. I know they have another one coming up afterwards, which I think people are saying they might talk more about 5G phones and things of that nature. But I think, any momentum given by the company in the form of new updates and developments is reason that a stock can go up. Now going into my next one, I have NVAX, and that's for Novavax, and they've been on quite a big breakout. Moving average 10 is 64.71, moving average 50 is 63.54, moving average 100 is 62.38. And they have gone up quite significantly. They ended the week at 64.75, so they went up to 66.06 by the end of the day, but then they ended the day, they went down a little bit at 64.75. So just bear that in mind. They're kind of on a down trend. So going into some background information on them, we can see, I'm just going to read, the highlights of these. NOV Novavax announces additions to executive leadership team, appoints biotechnology veteran David Mott as board of directors, and they raised 200 million from private placement with RA Capital. And then, they're basically trying to find a vaccine for the whole Roni situation. I think, making board member and executive team changes are very big moves for a company, whatever size it is. So, I think that can yield them to be very profitable in the future. And that's why I chose them. So, jumping into the Robinhood platform, we can see that I think a call probably the best option, with a expiration of August 21st. Now I went out a little bit more because to me medical stocks take a lot longer to develop. So you know that's why I pushed that out a lot more. I think a call between $70 to $80 is probably the best option. Now these are going to be a little bit more pricey on the pricier end, so just bear that in mind. You'll be looking to pay $1,165 to $845 on the Robinhood platform. Now jumping to the Webull platform, we're going to find ticker sign NVAX. Then August 21st, when we said between 80 scroll down, between 70 to 80. So we have 70 here and then 80 here. and you'll be looking to pay between $1,080 for the $70 one, and then between $720 for the $80 one. So not that big a difference between prices, but just bear in mind that's where you'll find it on the Webull platform. Now jumping into my next one, we got ticker sign NIO, and that's for Neo Incorporated. Um, they have been on basically a run up for quite a while. Basically, the whole week they kind of ran up. Then they went sideways towards the end of the week. Moving average 10 is 738. Moving average 50 is 740. Moving average 100 is 736. They ended the week at 734. So they ended the week below their moving average 10, 50, and 100. So, kind of a bullish downturn towards the end of the day. But jumping into some background information on them, we can see NEO announces completion of offering of American depository shares, announces price offering. So they have two of those, and then provides 2020 delivery update, and then also their first quarter financials of 2020. So this is a pretty old article. Some of the June ones, they're giving updates as what's going on. If you're not familiar with the company, they actually make electric vehicles similar to Tesla, but based in China. So this is just a video of their vehicle, a small video. Here's some specs. Because it's China based, that's the price that the vehicle actually is. The interior of the vehicle. Just briefly going over some of the stuff of the vehicle. And this is one of the vehicles that are lined up. They got the ES6 and ECS, but this is the ES8. But with all that being said, I think a put is probably the best option, just for the fact that the company is based in China and their main source is in China. So I don't think people in China are going to be buying electric vehicles this soon, especially with the whole Roni just barely subsiding. I know in the U.S. we're definitely impacted a lot by it, but I know in China they were impacted by it as well. And I don't see that being the number one thing on people's mind. As the economy opens back up, is, hey, I want to buy an electric vehicle. To me, for any culture, a car is a big purchase, but especially a car of new technology, it's not a cheap car. So you know I don't think that's going to be on the top of the list of most people. And I think, the fact that the stock is running up, I definitely can see it going back down, in the near future. So I think expiration the 21st of August, with a strike price between $5 to $7, probably the best option. You'll be looking to pay between $117 to $32 on the Robinhood platform. So jumping into Webull, we're going to type it in. We got ticker sign NIO. Let's look it up. Go off the page and back on the page. So it can't find it on here. So I guess there are no options for Neo on here. So drop a comment down below and tell me if you guys know if there are options for Neo Incorporated on actual Webull, because it's not popping up on here and I can't find it. So let me know. Drop a comment down below, and I'll be interested to figure that out. So jumping into my next one, we got ticker sign BB, and that is for BlackBerry Incorporated. So BlackBerry Incorporated, moving average 10 is 685. Moving average 50 is 679. Moving average 100 is 683. They ended the week at 699, so they're above their moving average 100, 50, and 10. So pretty good metrics as far as that's concerned. Jumping into some background information on them. BlackBerry, back in the day in the 80s, I mean not in the 80s, in the 90s, in the early 2000s, was really big, people are like, oh yeah, I like BlackBerry. BlackBerry's cool. I know me growing up might date me a little bit, but I thought Blackberries were like the coolest thing ever. Just the cell phone, they kind of fell off in my opinion. It was between BlackBerry and Nokia phones as far as good reliable phones, but you know as Samsung and iPhone and stuff came out, they kind of got pushed to the side in my opinion. But the company as a whole actually still does a lot of interesting things. So we have BlackBerry and Intel partner to stop crypto jacking malware. BlackBerry and Bell driver to enhance mobile threat defense to enterprise customers. BlackBerry ATHOC expands leadership position. Um, Communications with U.S. federal government includes the U.S. Department of Transportation, U.S. Federal Trade Commission, and U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. BlackBerry expands commitment to United Nations Global Compact, sustainable development goals. So, there's a lot of things this company is actually doing that I think, people don't really realize. So, with that being said, I think a call is probably the best option. With a strike price between $6 to $9, you'll be looking to pay between 33 to $14. So not that expensive, especially considering the price of is $5, which is what they say, but $6.99 is what Webull said. With the expiration of August 21st. Now jumping into Webull, let's see if we can find BlackBerry on here. We could not find Neo, but let's look for BlackBerry. So yeah, there are no options on here for BlackBerry. Let's see if it have on here. So yeah, it must just be BlackBerry and uh, Neo don't have options on here. So that's going to be one thing, there are benefits and not there are benefits, pros and cons to both having both of them. So you can get options on Robinhood of BlackBerry and Neo, but you can't get options on Webull. So just bear that in mind when you are looking on there. There are advantages and disadvantages, like I said in the beginning, of having both platforms. So just bear that in mind. If this video helped you out, drop a comment down below, like, comment, share, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.